So, I'm here with Professor Jeremy Gardiner. He's the course director for Postgraduate Studies, and I want to find out a little bit more about this Jurassic Coast project. So, Jeremy, what was the main aims and objectives of this project?
Well, Gail, the idea of working with Landmap evolved from finding a way that we could create a three-dimensional model of the Jurassic Coast in Dorset. I mean, that's an area that stretches 95 miles from Studland Beach down to Orcombe Rocks in Devon. Now, there have been many ways to build maps in the past, from sand table models to plaster reliefs that were made, in the early 20th century. But today we have access to geospatial information, and we needed to find out where we could get that data, and we started with Landmap.
Brilliant. So how did Landmap data help you in this creation of the 3D model?
Well, our goal has been to make two kinds of models using applied technologies. That's rapid prototyping, and as we discussed when we had the tour in the lab, that involves either using subtractive or additive technologies. I've got one example here, which is a small section of the coast, which is St Aldham's Head in Dorset. And if you can look at the map, difficult to tell now as it's hand painted, but this was made using the Z-Core printer upstairs. So the data that you supplied was, I believe, 5 metre DTM elevation data. Okay. In its raw form, it wasn't much use to us. We needed to find compatible software to view the file types that we were receiving, we were collecting from the, from the websites.
So what kind of software did you use then?
Well, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. What we had to do to view the IMG files was to search for a piece of software that would convert them to something that we could work with for our milling machines.
I see,
and we did manage to find a site which was called mygeodata.eu, which enabled us to convert those files to JPEGs.
And then obviously you'd be able then to use that in your milling machines.
I mean from those
the images here,
I mean from those very simple elevation maps, we've been able to create these 3D models in 3D Studio Max. And once we have that data, we're able to feed it to the milling machine. I mean, you look at that actually, you look at this model, there are a lot of very subtle things that we still have to do to the data to get an accurate, accurate model.
So, after you've created this 3D model of the Jurassic Coast, what's going to be the benefits of that model? How is it going to be used? What would it be implemented for?
Well, it's for cultural heritage.
Cultural heritage,
I mean, one project that I've been working on before is with the Pervasive Media Group at Nottingham University. And that particular project's about mapping the Lake District. I'm doing that work with Dr. Gary Priesnell. The idea with the Jurassic Coast is that it will be a 4.5 metre long model that will be the centrepiece of an exhibition that looks at topographical paintings of the Jurassic Coast. So essentially a physical model where people can see where the work has been produced along the coast. It will be possible to augment that with projection, projected data, and we'll be looking at that possibility as the project unfolds.
Okay, that's great. And finally, what was your experience of using Landmap for your research projects?
Oh well, I'm going to hesitate to answer that one. I'm going to read you a quote from my research student, because she was actually the one who did that work.
This is Laura White.
Yeah, this is Laura.
Right.
So I think I can read this without anybody being embarrassed. The website is good and simple to use, and the staff, Cami, have been very helpful. I think Landmap is a great source of information, and let me see this. It will help in due course to find out which software is required for viewing particular files that it provides.
Right.
I mean, that's a quote from
Yeah.
my research student who couldn't be here with us today. So she's obviously finding it accessible and easy to use. But the conversion issues, I mean, this is quite an esoteric project that we're engaged with. You know, whether Landmap data was ever produced with that in mind, I don't know. But we found it and we want to use it. So
Yeah, that's great. Well, I think with Landmap, you know, it's really quite exciting to be thinking that someone who is actually creating 3D models from scratch is using our data in that way. You know, it's a real kind of unique application for us.
yeah. Well, it's going to engage audiences, I think. You know, when they visit, you know, the galleries and museums and exhibitions where the map's displayed, I think it will engage them in a new and interesting way. It's not a flat map; it's a tangible artifact that people can visualise, you know, visualise the environment, and perhaps there'll be the possibility, as we've got the digital data, to create landscapes that have existed in the past.
Yeah.
Or might exist in the future. We've been thinking about rising sea levels when we've been looking at this particular map, and what the impact will be on the Jurassic coast in the coming millennia.
Yeah.
So, you know, those imaginary maps can be created from this data.
Okay. Well, thanks for your time,
You're
Jeremy.
welcome.